70s. This was the principal primary trainer for aircrew when they joined the RAF. This would be the first type they would have been instructed on and assessed on for further progression into the RAF and the Royal Navy. Built by the de Havilland Aircraft Company, and of traditional rag and wood, as we might call it, with a doped wing and a rag and metal. I've just been corrected. Thank you, Ken. Just testing your listening there, mate. And with a Gypsy Major engine, an ideal trainer, fairly easy to fly, fairly crisp on the controls, very responsive, and a good aeroplane for an instructor to assess whether the pilot is getting the hang of learning to fly for the military standard.
Now, Simon loves this aeroplane. He's showing you just how much he loves it with this lyrical performance. When he's not flying a Chipmonk at an air display, he flies Augusta Westland Wildcats for the Fleet Air Arm, anti-submarine helicopters operating off frigates. And he's based at Yeovilton in Somerset, and also at Yeovilton in Somerset is the Royal Navy Historic Flight, and Simon helps out fly their aeroplanes as well. This Chipmonk is in Royal Navy colours, and it served initially with the Britannia Royal Navy Naval College from Roborough in the southwest of England, and it was used for grading Fleet Air Arm hopeful pilots. By grading, I mean they would do a series of flights to check their aptitude and decide whether it was a thumbs up or a thumbs down on whether they went on to be naval pilots. Now, oddly enough, the man that owns this machine today, he was given a thumbs down at Roborough and told he couldn't become a naval pilot. He doesn't seem to have held a grudge, because then he made sure he bought later on in life a Chipmonk just like the one that he took his initial instruction in. It was only when he acquired the airframe and he looked at his logbook and realised that this Chipmonk in front of him, the one that he now owns, was the very aeroplane in which he failed his acceptance test for the Fleet Air Arm. There's irony for you. Now, we've told you about low cloud. We've told you about the conditions and how they may change. Please, none of you look to your left, because we have low cloud coming in, and this is going to have a bearing on quite a bit of our show. But Simon doing a remarkable job in front of us. Gorgeous aeroplane, the Chipmonk.
A very strong aeroplane, Ken, fully aerobatic of course, and ideal for your first experience of aerobatic flying if you were in the RAF or the Navy. And the end of the 70s, early 80s, you could buy one of these aircraft at auction. There were literally hundreds of them for sale, and quite a few still in operational in the private sector, still operating today.
And of course, we should say that the replacement for the Chipmonk was, of course, the Scottish Aviation Bulldog, built, of course, at Prestwick.
Not as nice as the Chipmonk to fly, in my opinion.
Don't go there, not in front of this audience. Now, a lot of people have been asking what the yellow boys are out in the bay. Well, our pilots have to fly a straight line, a display line as we call it. The boys are there to help their visual reference. As Simon comes through, knife edging across, I think it's time for a wave, rattle the jewellery and make some noise. Well done, that man.
Well, the present day initial trainer for the RAF is the Grob Tutor, and if this weather behaves itself, and we are praying to our very own weather god that it will do, hopefully we'll see the Grob Tutor in display later on. But that's the modern day version of this Chipmonk, this wonderful historic aeroplane that was the primary trainer for RAF and Navy personnel in the late 1940s, 50s, right through to the late 70s.
Simon coming back round for a reprise, and he's waving, waggling his wings.
And I'm hoping we might have some former RAF personnel with us in the crowd today, and you'll appreciate and remember what a fine training aeroplane the Chipmonk was. Delightful to fly.
Come back.
And he put Mummy's umbrella.
Yeah, man.
Simon just declared that his display is complete. Simon, you're brilliant. I know you can't hear this, but I'm saying it anyway. In these conditions, getting a light aeroplane up into the air and to do something as good as that, magic. Thank you so much.